What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name is Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania Diamond Painting. If you're joining me for the first time, hey, what's up? How you doing? And if you're coming back to see me, hey, what's up? How you doing? It has been a week. I'm going to tell you all about it. I am bringing you a WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and I'm going to chat for about an hour. First half hour, I usually kind of go about like what my week has been like, and then the second half, I have a little surprise in the form of a tarot card that I select and kind of give a thought for the week. Whoa, they're trying to run away on me. But let me just get into my tools really quickly. I don't want to bore you with too many details on all of those things, since if you're here, you probably know what you came here to see. And if you don't, well, you're going to find out. Let me not tell, let me show. Or let me not show, let me tell. Whatever. This is a tray from Firefly, and you can go to fireflyda.com. I love this tray. It runs about 20 bucks. It's got a slide-in removable lid. It has a removable trash tray, which I have right here with some trash in it. I leave it over there for a specific reason. There's a little hole in the top, and that is so you can put your pen in, and then it won't roll away on you, which is pretty cool. So the reason that I keep the trash tray over there is because sometimes when the trash tray starts to get full of too many things and you're tipping it into your container, the trash can sometimes go into the container. So, meh, little nitpick, but it's not a big deal. I have a pen here, which was sent as a friend mail from Wallflower. This is from C'est Plus Beau Tour. It is beautiful. It has cinnamon inside. It has that metal kind of honeycombing. And then it is just a beautiful pen, you guys. And it was a wonderful gift. I love this pen. It's nice and chunky. I've been using it all day today, and I'm in love. Love it. But those are my tools. I am diamond painting Solstice from Diamond Art Club. Let me get you a picture so you know what this lady looks like. Let's see. There she is. Look at her. Oh my goodness. I am right about here. Right there is where I'm diamond painting. So I'm just about getting to the halfway point on this painting. All of that said, you guys, it has not been a busy week. Not really. I've been pouring resin and getting blanks ready so that when I am ready to move into the space, the workspace, I can get right to it. You know what I mean? That said, wanted to get all of those ready so I can just do everything all at one time, get everything done and mailed out at the same time, making some intention pens for people, and that's been, kind of time consuming. I ran into an issue last Thursday. I was over at the in-laws. My mother-in-law actually is having some major issues with her knee. We found out that her knee replacement is essentially like rejecting because she's allergic to it. It continues to swell and cause her a lot of pain and issues. And so I've been trying to help out, in whatever way I can. So, it's been a lot about when I'm over there, I'm helping with stuff, trying to get things cleaned and whatever, just trying to do real life stuff, Other than that, what else has been new? Not too much, honestly. It's been a good week, I feel like. I have been really, just doing a lot of on my own meditating. I spent less time this week in the Discord chat than I might normally during a week, and not for any specific reason. I just caught up on some shows that I wanted to watch, and I I need to recharge my batteries sometimes. And I feel like I love talking to the community of friends that I've made on my Discord. But sometimes you just need a little break, you know, some time for yourself. And I often forget that that's a thing that you do, that, you know, people do spend time on their own and recharge their batteries and have new things to say and talk about. And so I did some of that this week, and I needed it, you know. It was getting to that point. What else? I had a really long phone call with my sister this week. Was it this week? I believe it was this week. And we talked about a lot of stuff. And I don't think I talked about speaking with my sister on WIP and chat before. Yeah, gosh, I lose track of time. I forget what day it is sometime, or what week, or what I've already talked about. And that's due in part because, you know, I catch up with people on Discord, and then I lose complete and utter track. But we talked a lot about memories of our mom, and, you know, things that had to do with that. I think she refreshed my memory on some things that I had forgotten, and then I refreshed her memory on some things that I think she misremembered, because when we talked about it, you know, it was like she would disagree with me on something that had happened, and no, it happened this way, and it's like, I don't know how you could possibly have known that. You were 4 years old, unless it was something that mom repeated, and probably incorrectly. So, you know, just lots of comparing notes, I guess. I don't, it's an odd relationship that I have with my sister, because we're very different, but we're very similar too. Often I find that things, when she talks about them, they become aggrandized, or they're just, they're, it's like, you know, you ever meet someone and that person, like, they've told a lie so many times that they believe that it's true because they've told it so many times? It can be like that sometimes with her. And we're 11 years apart. I'm 11 years older. And I find that sometimes I still have a hard time with separating the woman she is with the girl that she was. And they're very different people, but then there are still things that are very much the same, that have never changed. And so it makes it difficult. Maybe that's why I needed to recharge my batteries. I don't know. Because it does drain me. And it was a long, long phone call too. Like, I'm talking like a 4-hour conversation on the phone. And I think that is, that might have been why I needed to recharge my batteries. And it's just coming to me now that is probably why. Because it also drummed up some stuff. And it almost makes you feel like, okay, I know where I want to go with this. So the definition of trauma, it's where you like take away a person's ability to make choices, you take away their freedoms, you make them feel like they have no control, right? And you hurt them in some kind of way. Now that's not like the textbook definition of trauma, right? But really that's what it boils down to. You take away someone's choice and you hurt them in some sort of way. It's like it's a lasting emotional response, and it usually has something to do with an event or a series of events that a person feels that are harmful or threatening. It typically makes them feel out of control, or like they have no choices, or they're backed into a corner, or whatever. And it could be violence or serious injury or death. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that trauma can affect you. There are a lot of different ways that trauma can, that it can, stay with you. Your responses to certain traumas can define who you are as a person, right? And I have found that when speaking about my mom who has passed away, it's very hard because, on the one hand, if you've lost a parent, then I think you understand what I'm talking about. And if you've lost a parent who maybe was the cause of, or at the very least was not maybe the best at protecting you from trauma, it can be very hard to talk about that person because you feel almost like you're betraying that person, that you are in some way betraying their memory, or that you are speaking ill of the dead, or whatever. Like, yeah, talk about it with your therapist. Don't talk about it with the internet. Okay, fair. Fine. It's, it's hard to talk about without feeling guilty in a lot of ways. And so, all that said, when I am speaking about my mom and the things that I went through, on the one hand, it is very freeing, and it is very like cleansing. But at the same time, it can also feel like a betrayal. Like I have somehow betrayed her because I've spoken of her in a way that was not putting her in the best light, and she's not here to defend herself, and etc., etc., etc. So then it's like, okay, then I don't talk about it, and I clam up, and I fear speaking on it because I don't want people to think that, like, oh, you're ungrateful, you didn't love her, she was a horrible person, whatever, right? So, all of that said, it's incredibly hard to talk about things because I get this funky feeling like people are going to think that I feel those things, right? And honestly, like, okay, I knew that I had trauma associated with my childhood, but I didn't know that it was that. And I didn't know that some of the things that I do or say or ways that I behave were connected to that. I just figured that was life, and that was growing up, and that was like, whatever. There were certain things that I had no idea were not normal for people until I started to meet other people's parents and families, and I'm like, oh, that's weird that they don't do X, Y, Z, or that, you know, whatever. And growing up with a mother who had mental illness made it harder, right? So that said, there are a lot of different ways that people experience trauma and deal with trauma. Some coping mechanisms are good and some coping mechanisms are not good. And I feel like, you know, I have a therapist that I see once a week, and I need to see a therapist. Like that's a definite need, not want situation. So that I can better understand where the trauma comes from and whether or not some of the ways that I'm feeling or thinking are not like betrayal, right? Because it can feel like a betrayal. When I get on the phone with my sister, it's like a mix of things, right? So like on the one hand, sometimes the ways that she speaks make it feel like, you know, she hated her guts and it was terrible and whatever. And then at other times it feels almost like a romanticizing of our like childhood and how wonderful things were. And it's very jarring. And so I don't always pick up the phone when she calls. I have to make a decision when she calls to, like, I can do this right now or I can't do this right now. And I feel like I've talked about this before. Did I talk about this before? Maybe I did. I better check before I post this, because I don't want to repeat the same shit that I talked about. And okay, I know what it was. I talked about mothering and smothering last week, and then my mom's, that's why I feel like I've talked about some of this before. Okay. That said, talking to my sister, it's hard because it brings up some of that stuff, right? Well, what I wanted to say was, I didn't understand until this year, really, that it is wildly important that you know and respect your own boundaries with people. That you know what you need to do to take care of yourself and to make your life okay. Sometimes you're going to have to learn to make other people uncomfortable for your own safety, let's say. That sometimes you're going to have to make other people feel a little put out for your mental health and well-being. But that does not make you a bad person. And it is okay to know your limits for that day. It really took me until this year to understand that no is a complete sentence that ends with a period. You could not have ever told me that before. Working at my last job, I never said no to anything. I did everything I was asked, and then some. I always went above and beyond. I did my job, my boss's job, my boss's boss's job. I put everything I had into it. And then, you know, like the thanks that I got was trumped up termination because of a complaint that was completely unfounded, and there was literally no reason for what went down to go down. And so after that, and feeling like utter crap because I put my all into it and I carried the whole damn place on my back for 3 years, only to get an unceremonious tossing. And that's not the first time that that's happened to me, like where I put my all into something and then eventually I just got an unceremonious, like, thanks, but no thanks. I have learned that I should know my own limitations as far as what is too much and what is going to cause me trauma, because again, you take away a person's options and you hurt them. That's really what it is. And my former job was very good at doing that, taking away my choices and hurting me. And sometimes when I speak with my sister, I feel that kind of sorry, Sugar's making a place more comfortable for herself, so she's scratching on the leather for whatever reason. She thinks she's, I don't know, nesting or making it fluffier. I don't know. So sorry if you hear weird scratching. That's just my weird dog. Sugar. Thank you. Jeez. But anyways, I had to, after I really had to take some time for myself. After I had that conversation with her, it was a long one. I needed to just, you know, make my own path for the week. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm using Putty Crocker's Drunk Cupid. I did forget to say that from, it's Putty Buddy over on Facebook. I forgot to say that at the beginning. Sorry about that. So yeah, I needed a full on like recharge after, and I don't feel bad about it. You know, I was like, man, I haven't checked in. And then I realized, like, I just need to check in on me, you know? So I took some time. I did not really watch any diamond painting content. And I mean, I watched a few people. There are a few people that no matter what happens, I'm going to support them. But I just, yeah, I needed to just recharge and do my own thing. So anyway, I did feel a little bad about it, but you know, it is what it is, right? The other thing that happened today, actually, and today being Tuesday, because that's when I record my WIP and chats, and then I put them up Wednesday. Today I had my live, and it's just my weekly Tuesday live. Usually we do a trivia thing, and after doing the trivia, we usually get in on Discord and, you know, whatever. It's usually business as usual. I do the trivia, we pick a topic for the following week, and blah, blah, blah. Well, today, a lot of new people showed up. And I mean, thank you, Bacon. A lot of new people. I think there was like probably 4 or 5 people that identified as new diamond painters, people who are new subscribers. Thank you, by the way, for subscribing. If you haven't yet, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But yeah, it was just nice to see new people, and it ended up like rerouting the entire track of what I would normally do on a Tuesday, from doing trivia to like doing basically a diamond painting tutorial. So I'm gonna have to rename that live because I named it like Animal by Region Trivia Continued, because that's what we were supposed to be doing. And then it didn't end up being that. It ended up being like a full-on beginner's tutorial in diamond painting. I answered questions, and Jeebus, look at me just throwing stuff. I do it all the time. But it was nice. And actually, after talking to people, I think what I'm gonna do is like once a month, I'll take one of those Tuesdays and make it like a Q&A day where new diamond painters can ask literally anything, and I will attempt to answer it. And if I don't know the answer, then I will try to find an answer for you. Because, you know, oftentimes people will go into a live and it has, you know, whatever going on, scheduled content, or a creator who's only there to talk to their, you know, their friends or their followers, or people that they're used to seeing in the lives or whatever, and they really don't conversate with the new people that are on there. And so I thought, you know, we were talking about it, and it's like, what a great idea. Just have a live, do a tutorial on whatever they ask about, and do it once a month. I think that would be really great. I enjoyed today so much. One, because, you know, it's always nice to see a fresh face, and not that y'all have stale faces or anything. Nothing like that. Maybe slightly stale, just a little bit stale, just like not moldy, but I'm just kidding. But fresh blood keeps the channel going, you know, whatever. I poured out like however many, and I need one. So that was the thing that just happened. I thought I was pouring a different color. You know how it goes. You get sidetracked, you do stupid shit. But yeah, it was just nice. It was very nice. And so I am really looking forward to doing something like that again. And hopefully, you know, making a thing of welcoming new people, and just making it about the people who are there to watch the live. Because it isn't about me. I mean, even the trivia stuff, that was something that, as a group, the people who watch the lives, that's what they wanted to do. And that's what I do. Because everybody was like, oh my God, I love the trivia days. Those are the most fun. I was like, oh, cool. All right, we'll do that. So yeah, I think I want to dedicate a live maybe every month to just like a Q&A. And if people don't ask Q&As, then I'll ask questions of the people who are in the chat, and see where it goes, see where it leads, and go from there. I'm really trying, and it's hard to do, and I'll tell you why in a moment. I'm really trying to do a different thing than what others are doing, because, I mean, it's hard for two main reasons. One, there are really only so many ways that you can approach this diamond painting thing, right? And then the other part of it is that I don't watch many other creators anymore. I narrowed my list way down. There are a few people, if I comment on your videos, then you know I'm watching your videos. If I'm not commenting on your videos, and sometimes I don't always comment on videos, but I do try to at least let the people that I'm watching know that I have watched, that I at least came, I wanted to support you like you support me, and I watched your videos because I love and care about you, and I want to see you successful, and that's that. You know what I mean? Now, you don't need me to be successful by any stretch of the imagination, but a friend supports a friend, and a decent human being does what they can to show others that they matter. And that's in life, you guys. That is in life. It takes 2 seconds to pop onto a person's YouTube videos, even if you're skimming it. As a creator, I know you're busy and you got stuff to do, but are you too busy to like leave a comment and say, hey, great video, and then be specific. Don't just say, hey, great video. Say something specific about the video so that they know you watched it. 2 minutes. Just take a little time. Just a little time if you're a creator with other creators. And if you don't have time to do that, then I guess you don't have time to do that. But then the other part of it is, like, I go out of my way to respond to every comment that's put on my videos, because I would like you guys to know that I see you, that I don't just see your comments and go, I'm amazing. Let me dust myself off. I'm amazing. No, I wouldn't have a channel if you guys didn't watch. So there's that. I'm always going to do that. I'm going to respond to you, and then I'm going to go on your videos, and I'm going to do what I can to watch your video and put a comment on there, at least one comment. What I do is I watch the video, and then I will make a comment on things as I'm watching, as it's like fresh, so that I don't have to like write a whole paragraph. It's just like a boop about this thing, a boop about that thing, wabam. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not watching what other content creators are doing for the most part, and I'm gonna say it, not the bigger name. I watch a lot of small channels because I find that they need and want my support more. You know what I mean? The bigger channels, and I'm not calling anybody out specifically. I get it. Life gets busy, and sometimes you don't have time to respond to every comment, or you have other things going on and you don't have time to go and watch other content creators. And that is fine. That is just fine. But I know that some of the bigger channels, they don't need my views, right? And they don't make the time, not a judgment, they don't make the time to go and respond to every comment that's put on their videos. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying it makes you worse or better or whatever. It's just a fact that they don't always make the time to respond to comments on their videos. Do you, boo? I don't care. But I do find that the smaller channels, they need the views. They need the comments for the algorithm. And so I do what I can to boost their visibility, because I would like to see them succeed. As I've met many of them, and they are incredibly kind and deserving people. So there you have it. I don't watch a lot of content so that I'm not copying anybody. Okay, Beans. I don't want anybody to think like, oh yeah, she did this because I did this, because I didn't. I'm not watching, so I don't know. I don't know why Beans is whining right now, but that's what he's doing. I may have to pause in a moment to find out what that's about, but hopefully he'll just go back to sleeping like he was doing and stop bothering me. For those who are not aware, I have a Great Pyrenees. He's kind of a whiny little princeling, and sometimes I don't know exactly what he wants. I think it's just attention, to be honest. But anyways, yeah, I'm trying to do my own thing, and I'm really trying to foster kind of a new way for myself. And it also helps me to remember not to keep looking next door at what the next guy is doing and how are they successful and why am I not getting the views that they're getting and why did this person get picked to do this and why blah, 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 blah. Because you know what? One, I'm not that special. I'm not knocking on myself, but I'm really not that special. You know what I mean? Like, if people are going to notice me, I've got to be noticed on my own, by my own merits. And I can't be jealous of or judgmental of or hyper-focused on anyone else if I don't know what in the hell is going on with them, if I'm too busy to really be able to focus on them. So I keep myself busy elsewhere and doing other things, and that's just what it is. Oh, before I go on to the tarot card, because I will do that, it's actually been longer than it should have been, so I'll take a little less time on that, but I hit a record that I do want to share, and I will have a post review for it up, but I finished a kit in record time. I finished a whole Diamond Art Club canvas, and I'm not talking an Amazon one, a normal size Diamond Art Club canvas in 4 days. Now, granted, I didn't do anything else except for diamond paint on this canvas, and now that I'm looking back at it, it was probably stress-related because of my 4-hour-long conversation with my sister on the phone, but listen, trauma does weird things to people sometimes, and that apparently was just how I spent my energy. But it was a record for me, and I was proud and also a little disturbed with myself. So, yeah, if you're finishing kits that quickly, you might be a nut. You could be crazy. Just putting it out there, you might be crazy. No judgment or anything, but you could be a crazy person. Welcome to the club. So, anyways, let me grab out my tarot card, which is my thought for the week. I'll kind of talk a little bit about how I have utilized the card from last week, which I think I just kind of did. We were talking about dealing with the fact that it's hard to talk about my mom in a negative way because, you know, she's deceased and cannot fend for herself, and talking to my sister about my mother made me a little crazy. And I think there was some serendipity in my sister calling me and wanting to talk to me about, you know, the past and things with our mom, because of the card that I got last week. So it was just an interesting coincidence that she decided to call me after I received that card, and then she wanted to talk to me about our mom, you know? But I have already shuffled the Fairies Oracle cards, and this top card is going to flip this way because they do have reverse and divine meanings, and then I will read what it says. These are artwork by Brian Froud. He was a concept artist for the movie The Labyrinth, so you can see in these cards, like, they're kind of like the movie The Labyrinth. But let's see what we have. It is Spirit Dancer, and she's not naked. I mean, she's kind of naked, but you don't see any nips or anything. Spirit Dancer. Let's find out what she means, and she is right side up. Spirit Dancer number 36. Let's find out. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to take a drink of my drinky here before I start reading. Okay. Spirit Dancer. Keywords are self-expression, freedom, exploration. Let's see. Now is the time to focus and really concentrate on a project or process, especially one involving the creative arts. Spontaneity balanced by self-discipline will help us achieve our goals. Strive for elegance and simplicity. This is a time to bring out and share qualities that we have nurtured in private. I really think that some of that is talking about the intention pens and the zodiac pens, because I've like really wanted to do more working on them this week, and I've been unable, and it's almost like stifled a creative part of myself. And speaking on that, stifling the creative part of myself, I had a very hard time, as I spoke on earlier, with saying the word no when I was at my last job. And what it led to was a complete and utter unbalancing of like my psyche, my intuition, my meditation, my power. Like it stripped me of almost like what felt like humanity, because I was so busy dealing with everybody else's crap that I wasn't dealing with my own. And I think that in a lot of ways, people who have mental health issues either do one of two things. One, they will try to be a cape wearer for everybody else, trying to rescue everybody else or fix everybody else's problems, or they will give and give and give of themselves, because if you're looking at X person's problems, then you're not looking at me, right? And if I am so busy dealing with your crap, I can't examine myself. And it's so much easier to deal with other people's problems. You know why? Because we don't actually have to walk a day in their shoes. We don't have to be responsible for the choices that we make for them inside of our own heads. It's a situation where you're basically like blameless because you're helping, right? And then when those people don't want to take our advice, or they don't want our help, or they refuse to listen to what we've said, like, oh, I'm cutting them out. They're just negative. They're bad news. They're, blah, blah, blah. Because what we really want is control. That's one type of person. The other type of person, that's the person who, instead of trying to solve everyone else's problems and, ignore their own problems, they ignore their own problems, dealing with their own problems. They ignore dealing with their own problems so that they can have others deal with their own problems for them. They throw their crap into somebody else's bag and expect someone else to have all the answers for them. It's easier to take advice from somebody who knows really nothing except for what you share, what you're willing to share, and heaven forbid that before you've shared with this person that you have taken a full and total moral inventory of yourself. Now, in AA and NA speak, this is where you really rack up all of your faults. You face them head on and you say, I do this. And then you work out the ways that you will not do that again, or that you can fix that moral imbalance, or that deficiency, that moral deficiency. And really, you take stock and you fix it, or you work at fixing it, right? So either A, I'm going to focus on your problem so I don't have to focus on mine, which is what I do, or you let other people deal with your crap, or you just unload on those people so that they feel like they have to offer you some kind of advice, and then you just drop it and leave it, right? And if they give you advice, fine, whatever, because remember, you're not obligated to take that person's advice. You're not obligated to actually listen to what they say. You can take it with a grain of salt because they don't know your life, because you only share what you're willing to share, right? It's those kind of people are the kind of people who, in the middle of anything else going on, they will drop into a conversation with something really horrible that happened to them, or they tend to, like, when the conversation is steered in one direction, they steer it back to themselves. They want you to pay attention to them. They don't of course want you to pity them, right? They totally want you to pity them. They don't want to say that out loud. They don't actually, right? They don't actually want you to pity them. Yes, they do. But they just need some help. They just need your advice. They need an ear or a whatever. But what they're really trying to do is to avoid dealing with their own crap, because they just want to dump their crap on you so that they can pretend like they're getting advice, when really what they're trying to do is either A, change the subject back onto them so that they can talk about their problems and get free therapy, or they are maybe just kind of narcissistic and they want to take the reins of the conversation, or they want you to, sometimes they even tell you this for manipulation, because they want you to feel sorry for them and give them something. That's always a possibility too. Oh, my life is so terrible. I haven't been working at my job for X amount of time, and so I'm really broke. And then they kind of, it's a soft manipulation is what I'd call that, where they don't want to ask you for help. They want you to offer your help, whether that's in money or in advice or in whatever. Those people, those soft manipulators, they're everywhere, man. And they would do anything to make it look like they don't ask you for anything. What do you mean? I never asked you for, you offered to help. You should feel ashamed because I never, okay. But you walked up to where I was standing, you threw a bunch of crap in my backpack and expected me to carry the weight, but then you somehow, instead of bringing it over, dropping it in my bag, you somehow manipulated me into carrying it for you. So there's a lot of things that will stifle you throughout your week, throughout your day, throughout your year, your month, your whatever, your life. There are lots of things that will stifle you from being able to fully embrace and enjoy your creative side, or your personal time, or your your mental health space. Some people, they will be in it all of the time because they need your advice and your approval. I put that in quotes for those who didn't see. They don't actually need those things. They're avoiding their own crap, but they want you to volunteer to take it for them. Or you're distracting yourself away from what you can and should be doing, probably for yourself, by dealing with other people's stuff and making it seem like in your own mind, if I don't help them, then X happens. If I don't help them, then Y, Z happens. And then it's an easy way for you to feel responsible when things don't work out for them. You were too busy taking care of this to deal with that. Both ways are soft manipulations. Both ways. I've had a lot of soft manipulators in my life. I've been a soft manipulator in my life. And it's when you don't feel yourself working another person to get what you want from them. It's when you stop feeling that happening that either A, you are a scary mofo because you don't even know you're doing it, or B, you're kind of a jerk because you're only really thinking about what you want at the end result of whatever's going on. Well, I don't want to experience that as much, if at all, anymore. So what I will do, I will really put in an effort to curtail my cape wearing and attempt to, when I see myself going in that direction of like jumping right on somebody's problem and making it something that I think I can fix, I'm going to pause and really think about, is this something that I can help them with, or should I point them in the direction of a professional? Because there are a lot of things in this life that can steal away your energy, and nothing makes that happen faster sometimes than having a person who understands that they're doing it. Oh God. Or, you know, you're trying to get out of something. Stop it. I'm going to try really hard not to glom onto people's stuff so that I can avoid my problems, whatever they might be, for the week. Conversely, I'm going to watch out for those sneaky mofos who carry over their big old backpack full of their troubles and attempt to soft manipulate me into carrying it. Because the truth is that, yes, there are people in this life that I would stop in the middle of whatever I'm doing, grab up that backpack and carry it miles if I needed to. But that list, as I get older, becomes shorter and more select. And I feel like having that boundary is going to be really vital. Yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important that I just remember those things this week. And I have a feeling that someone else needed to hear that too. Either A, because you're the one dumping stuff into people's backpacks. Maybe you don't even realize it and you need to look it in the eye. You need to look that manipulation in the eyeballs and look at it for what it really is. Nobody else can solve your problems. You can solve your problems. And by dropping into a conversation and dumping your crap on the people that are just standing there, that's a soft manipulation and it's not fair. You should go the right routes, right? Get a therapist. Get a therapist. If you can't talk to a therapist, call a crisis line. How big or small is your problem, and are you catastrophizing it? Because I remember the other part of my old job was like, once I would start to get really, really overwhelmed, like once a month, it seemed like I would end up in my boss's office with like a meltdown pending because I would see a situation going from bad to worse, not even getting from bad to worse, just headed in the direction of bad to worse. And I would start to panic and I would lash out at people, or I would, hermit in on myself. But none of it good coping mechanisms. None of it good. So, yeah. Whoop. I'm working harder at being a better me every day. And I can tell you that I'm really proud of the fact that I get to look at myself under a brighter, more powerful microscope, and that I can look at others in this way without it being judgmental. Because it isn't. It's not a judgment. It's an observation, and it's a damn good observation, because I have to remember, and you have to remember, that not every person out there in the world has good intentions for you, your time, your money, or your effort. And if that's me, I really would hope that someone would point it out and say, like, Naomi, that was really hypocritical what you said, because you're the first person to jump into a conversation and dump your crap in people's backpacks and whatever. I don't think I do that, but in case, if that was the case, I would really hope that somebody would just call me out on my ish, Oh my goodness. Oh, Beans is over there snoring. Well, you guys, I hope that all of that was useful to you and that you were able to take something away from it and that you can apply it to not just your week this week, but your month, your year, your lifetime, whatever it happens to be. I really hope that you found something worth carrying with you. Because if you did, then you're probably going to be all right. All right, you guys, as ever, I'm going to wrap it up here, and I want to let you know one, that I am so grateful that you've been here hanging out with me. I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, beautiful world, that you are having a phenomenal morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. And thanks again for sticking around, all right? I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye.